The Ballad of Irving. Irving. Big fat Irving. Big sport Irving. The 142nd fastest gun in the West.
This level is convoluted, and you can actually take several paths to accomplish your various goals. It doesn't matter what order you access the three servers, for example. You can hack assorted computers and grab assorted people to get things like door codes, but you can also hack the keypads so the door codes aren't all that crucial. One thing I do like, if you've gotten a door code, then as you're getting the prompt to use the keypad, a box displays the code so you don't have to go hunting on your OPSAT for it. If you can remember it for 3 seconds, you can punch it in. If you can't, you probably should be playing Candyland instead of this anyway.
Strike my last stereotype.
One major optional objective is to find out who Nedich is. To do this, you need to record a conversation using your EEV. How you do this isn't really explained anywhere. The manual just says your EEV can record sound when it's zoomed in, but it never tells you how to zoom the damn thing in. If you're playing on an Xbox 360, I'll tell you, click the left stick. If you're playing on something else, you're on your own. Why that's not actually spelled out anywhere, I don't know. But really, this is one of only 2 times that you use it. In any case, when you get to the server, you find out that Zerkasi has been moved to a different location. To find out where the new location is, you're going to have to get into the CEO's office. Gameplay here is pretty straightforward for the Splinter Cell series. You make your way past some guards however you can, track down door codes or hack the keypad, use your pistol's OCP to zap cameras, all that good stuff. Once in the CEO's office, you access his computer.
Hokkaido.
Bless you.
Hokkaido, isn't that basically the Alaska of Japan?
Oh, that Hokkaido. Never mind.
Yeah, looks like Milan Nedich has secretly relocated Zerkasi there.
Interesting. Now we definitely need to talk to Shetland.
We'll let State Department handle that mess. You're going to Hokkaido. We're sending a helicopter to evac you from the roof.
So, back out the way you came, through the fire door and up the stairs, and there you are. Extraction. This is about the only level that I scored 100% without really trying. And you'll love Sam's interrogations. So you're off to Hokkaido.
Bless you!
The place in Hokkaido, don't say it, is a spiritual retreat of some kind, and this place has booked the whole complex. Your team is starting to float the idea that your friend Shetland is dirty. They know you don't want to hear it, and in a cutscene before the briefing, Sam actually meets with Shetland and tells him about Nedich. Shetland is evasive and defensive, but Sam won't accuse him. Yet. He just tells him, stay out of my way. Meanwhile, as the USS Walsh reaches the trouble spot near the South China Sea, all its electronic defenses go bonkers. Without warning, a missile comes screaming across the ocean and hits it broadside, sinking it almost immediately. Satellite intel shows the missile came from North Korea. Oh, crap. An unprovoked attack on a U.S. warship by the North Koreans? The Defense Secretary wants to declare war. Now. So you've got to find Zerkasi and find a way to prove that he, with his computer skills, caused the launch. Otherwise, the world is going to be plunged into what could very well be its final world war.
Well, somebody had to do it.
A new player in the briefing is Admiral Otomo. He's the head of Japan's ISDF force. He's there to give you your minigame. For reasons that really aren't clear, Japan put hidden microphones in this place a while back, and they're afraid that Displace will detect them and get spooked. So he wants Sam to remove them. Through this whole crisis, we've been hearing from Otomo at various times because obviously Japan has a major stake in the mess that's developing just off their shores. So it can't hurt to placate him a little. Of course, Nedich has henchmen all over the place. So what kind of resume do you need to be a henchman in this organization? Let's check out a couple of examples.
Talk, but talk quietly.
I'll tell you anything. I'm the biggest coward you've ever met.
That's quite a claim. Bad news.
I know it. I know there were ninjas here.
What?
Yeah, you must be a ninja. How else could you sneak up and grab me like that?
Listen, I don't know what...
Wow, I can't believe it. A real live ninja.
Listen, I'm gonna kill you if...
Wow, killed by a ninja. Cool.
Okay, take your water wings and go back to the kiddie section of the gene pool. If you play it right, you can snag this guy and he'll give you a nice clue about where to find Otomo's microphones.
Find anything?
Who are you?
I'm looking for the same thing you're looking for.
Microphones?
Yeah. Did you find any?
No.
Where haven't you looked?
I haven't checked the phones yet.
I'll check there.
Another guy will give you an idea where Neddish and Zerkezi are, but considering the map's usefulness, it may or may not help. Just keep making your way through the place until you find them. Again, most of it is pretty straightforward. Deal with the bad guys, sneak around and find the microphones, etc., etc., etc. It's fun. When you do catch up with Neddish, you hear a surprising conversation. Shetland is coming to this place to wrap up loose ends, whatever that means. Sam still has trouble believing his friend knows what's going on here, but it's time to find out. Once Neddish is done talking to his henchman about Shetland's impending arrival, you can sneak up and grab him, through a rice paper wall. It's really nifty. Interrogate him and kill him. Now you need to get to another part of the complex and find Zerkezi. Your goal is to bring him in for questioning and see who was pulling his strings when he blacked out New York. You also need to know if he was behind the missile launch against the Walsh. Unfortunately, by the time you catch up with him, he's talking with Shetland, and Shetland is holding a sword. Zerkezi thought this was a demonstration to get the country's major powers to start talking peace. Shetland has other ideas, which include carving Zerkezi up with his sword. Lambert sees it and tells you...
What are you... No!
My God, Fisher, don't let Shetland escape.
Is he a target?
He's the target.
Of course, no way is it that easy. No matter how quickly you move and get to where his chopper is, he's gone. Lambert says there's no way you could have stopped him, and that's true. The game says so, and that's that. So you head back the way you came and extract. Now you really want to go bring Shetland in, but Lambert and the Secretary of Defense have other ideas. Both the North Koreans and the Chinese are insisting that the North Korean military had nothing to do with the missile that sank the Walsh. Basically, they're claiming they were hacked. Zerkezi's material, built on Philip Mass's work, is the only algorithm capable of doing that. The Japanese ISDF has located the missile battery that fired the shot, so Grimm wants Sam to infiltrate that battery and find the actual launcher. The BIOS in its computer should show a fingerprint of the Zerkezi algorithm, and if it does, we can prove that the North Koreans didn't fire the missile and avoid all-out war. You enter the missile battery through a ventilation shaft that leads to a warehouse. There are two guys in here arguing over the difference between 7 and 8. Don't look at me like that. Just listen to it. It's good for a chuckle.
Reminder to all enlisted personnel. Tomorrow is new toothbrush day.
I only see 7.
What do you mean,
10? As in one less than 8.
Well, the bill of lading said there were 8.
Did you count?
Well, not exactly.
Not exactly? It's just not that hard to count 8 giant trains. Look, I will double check. But if you screw this up, I'm going to have to report you.
Oh yeah, don't forget tomorrow is new toothbrush day. Ah, bureaucracy. As usual, there are several ways you can do this. Sneak past them through the door, sneak up and take them out, or if you're really adventurous, there's a hidden tunnel that'll bring you up inside the main complex. Of course, everybody wants something. Lambert wants you to get information about North Korean troop strength at the border, and Redding wants repair and maintenance logs for their armored equipment. Minigames! Yay! The first part of this level doesn't have to be done in any special order. Basically, you're heading for the 2 missile bays to access computers, hotwire a couple of warheads so Grimm can blow them up and cripple the installation if necessary, get the info Redding wants off 4 different computers, and locate the base commander. Once you've done all that, you take an elevator up to the command center. There's a retinal scanner up here. You can either grab the guy who's in the room and use him, or you can hack it. Your choice. Beyond that is the command center, where you hear the base commandant chewing out his second in command. He wants to know how that missile fired because he sure didn't order it. The other guy's complaining that they've run every possible test and can't figure out how it happened.
We got everything, sir. I assure you. Well, Captain, the only 2 people in this building who could authorize that launch without approval are you and I. I know I did not do it, so if it wasn't a malfunction... I want you to run every test again, then run whatever test the captain forgot until you find out what the hell happened with my missile.
Yikes! Remind me not to piss this guy off. Sam asks if that conversation is the proof they need that the North Koreans didn't fire on the Walsh. But Grimm still needs to see if there's a Dvorak fingerprint on the missile launcher itself. You can interrogate the commandant to get the info Lambert wanted, then head back down to get to the actual missile launcher. From here, things get fairly sequential. You need to go to the control room under the launcher and bypass a circuit to open the casing on the launcher, then access the computer so Grimm can identify the Dvorak fingerprint. But just as you do that, Lambert tells you that the North Koreans have committed. They're pouring over the border into South Korea, heading for Seoul. We're at war. Sam's extraction point is on the other side of the compound near a second set of missile launchers. As he's opening the door to get there, a missile fires from that launcher. Sam, which is to say you, now has 3 minutes to abort the missile's arming sequence so it won't blow up when it hits the USS Ronald Reagan.
Your readback is correct.
Confirm primary target aflame.
Good work, Sam. Those are the abort codes.
I still need to bypass the override circuit from the missile control room.
Hurry. The missile is closing on the USS Ronald Reagan at top speed.
Hold on. Did you just tell me I need to win one for the Gipper?
Dude, what does that even mean?
Never mind. You're right, Grimm. I am old.
Grimm was able to trace where the Dvorak-based algorithm came from, and nobody likes it. Why? Because it came from Seoul, South Korea. We're going to war to protect them, but it almost looks like they're the ones who hacked into this thing and sank the Walsh? Now things really start to get hairy. Redding is inserting you into a CIA safe house in Seoul behind the advancing North Korean troops. There's another wave of support troops coming later, and you're using a small window of opportunity between the 2 waves. Gee, this sounds like fun. Your target is a switching station for South Korea's national data trunk. This is as far as Grimm could trace the signal that planted the Dvorak routine in the North Korean missile launcher, and with an all-out war raging around the place, she can't get any access to the station. So Sam's job is to get into that station, yank the hard drives out of it, then get to the roof and transmit the data from them to a passing plane from the USS Ronald Reagan. He'll be using a secure laser beam transmitter that only the plane can pick up because it's line of sight. Should be easy, right? All you have to do is get past some North Korean soldiers, snag the info and send it. But right away we encounter some other objectives. Lambert tells you he has other assets on the ground near Sam. He calls them Splinter Cells in training. They were supposed to snag some scientist type from a predetermined location, but the North Koreans relocated them. So Lambert wants Sam to grab a North Korean soldier and interrogate him to find out where they took this guy.
Fine. You think you know where we are? You navigate. I'm going to take a lead. Don't get lost. Shove it.
Democratic Party Korean siblings.
Stay quiet, you might live. Shut up. Lambert, I've got one.
Good job, Fisher. I'm going to patch you through direct. Hold on.
Stay calm. This'll just take a sec.
Okay.
All right, Fisher. Go ahead.
I've got someone who wants to talk to you.
Roger. Ask him where they took John.
Where did you take John?
I don't know what you're talking about.
He's not answering. Should I kill him?
Negative.
All right. They say I should kill you, so...
Wait, okay. John, we moved him to a cyber cafe just off the fish market by the river.
Is that what you needed to know, guys?
Affirmative. Thanks a lot, sir. We owe you one.
Welcome to the team.
It's bonus time, folks. Much to my delight, this package includes a smaller two-player game featuring these Splinter Cells in training. They have their own special moves and missions, and that game in itself is worth the price of buying the disc, at least used. If you and a partner play through that game, you'll hear Sam's interrogation from the other end, and you'll get to do some really cool missions of your own. So don't neglect it. Play everything on this disc. You won't regret it. Back to Seoul. There are speakers mounted here and there, spouting a bunch of propaganda aimed at the South Koreans. Hey, we're all Koreans. Join us. Yak, yak, yak. Get close enough to one of them and you'll get a bypass circuit prompt. Take it.
Good thinking, Fisher. Shut down those propaganda broadcasts and our boys will be in better spirits.
Our boys. I'm just doing it because it's annoying.
As you forge ahead, Grim asks you to tap into a mobile command center that's just ahead. That requires taking out the guys guarding it, of course, and as usual, you can use lethal or non-lethal methods, your choice. I've done it several ways. Last time, I decided to take care of this guy in a rather, unconventional manner.
Incoming fire!
Yes, that was fun. So, you tap the computer inside the mobile command center, and now Grim and others can track what the North Koreans are doing. You can take out the rest of the propaganda speakers nearby while you're here. Now it's into the building to find the hard drives. Here's another chance to grab a guy from above. Nice little crotch shot there, but I'll let that pass. Once in here, I like to screw with this guy's head by turning the lights off, waiting for him to turn them back on and leave, then turning them off again. I could probably do that for about an hour. But anyway. Once he's down, you'll find the other guy downstairs accessing the computer. He's easy to grab. So you get the hard drives and head for the roof. But of course, a couple of guys are just getting off the elevator as you get there. So you can get creative taking them out. I used a sticky camera, but you can use a gas grenade, sticky shockers, or plain old bullets. Whatever turns your crank. In the elevator, Lambert tells you that once you've transmitted the data, assuming the landing zone is safe, they'll extract you right from the roof. Sam asks, and if it's not safe? A familiar screen appears. Mission complete, right? Wrong. To be continued. Something tells me this isn't going to be as simple as Lambert anticipated. So a cutscene shows the plane zooming low, you send the info and get confirmation that it's all uploaded. Some soldier on a rooftop fires a stinger or something similar at the plane, but their chaff throws it off. Still, they're flying low enough that they take a ton of fire and the plane goes down. Sam has been taking master of the obvious lessons from Lambert.
We gotta take this data!
Lambert, we have a problem.
Question number 1. Their mission was to get the stuff you're uploading and then get the hell out of there. Why didn't they? Even after their screen shows the data 100% complete, they stay way low, skimming the rooftops. Why didn't they head up to an altitude that's out of range of small arms fire? These guys don't seem to be the brightest bulbs in the chandelier. So the plane crashes somewhere on a city street. Now you have to go recover the data again before the North Koreans get there and capture it. This part of the mission starts on the roof where you are transmitting the information to the plane. You immediately encounter this thing, and it's going to annoy the crap out of you. It's called a UAV, which I assume stands for Unmanned Aerial Vehicle. It buzzes around like a poisonous gnat and will not leave you alone. It has a red spotlight that wanders around and can tell the difference between you and the North Koreans. It also has a very nasty machine gun and carries roughly 11 billion rounds of ammunition. In other words, it doesn't quit firing until Sam Fisher quits breathing. Will Redding wants you to find technical specifications on these things, but you have to survive them first. It is possible to destroy these things, but only if you went with the assault loadout and got the 20mm sniper attachment. Chances are you didn't do that. You're better off just finding hiding places to avoid them, but try it with the other loadout sometime and see what happens when you pop it with that sniper round. We have another mini game too. The North Koreans are setting up some portable radar devices known as P3Rs for short, and Will wants you to shut them down. You can do this by going up to them, or you can hack most of them with your EEV. There are 5 of them to shut down while avoiding the UAVs and the North Koreans. Off you go. So you see this UAV wandering around the rooftop where you start out, but you can sneak over here and take a zip line to the next building. There's a wall mine here, but it's no big deal, and the single light falls to your pistol, so you can move on safely away from the UAV. What the? Wait a minute! That's the same one! So it didn't see me, doesn't know I'm there, but it followed me? Come on! There are 3 guys over here besides the stupid UAV. Use your imagination to get past them. Because of the UAV, by the time I get to this door I'm in a hurry, so I like to break the lock instead of picking it, just because it's faster. Through this building to a bombed out side of it and you'll spot the next one. You'll also spot yet another UAV, but this one is a little easier to avoid. I said a little. I emphasize a little. But with these things I'll take any break I can get. You jump to the next building, shut down the P3R and get past the guard however you choose to do so, and head into this building. Now we're in for some fun, because look how much is left of it.
Sing?
Yeah, what is...
Huh? I found out what that beeping sound was.
Is it a gun?
I don't know.
Check it.
You check it.
Okay.
Easy. Take cover! I want my mommy!
So you move along, find the last 2 P3Rs and the specs that Will wants, and finally you make it to the plane. Lambert is all over you to get the data and get out of there. There's just one major problem. A tank. Fortunately, the tank is busy with some other enemies, so pretty much all you have to deal with is a couple of foot soldiers. That's not as easy as it sounds, but like everything else in the game, there are several ways. There's a street light that keeps flickering on and off, and as you move past it, you get this little exchange.
The plane is too badly damaged to recover the data. You need to fall back and designate the target for an airstrike. Use the structure down the street for your platform.
Let me get the pilots to safety first.
We don't have a lot of time, Sam. An NKA recovery team is en route.
Are you ordering me to leave these guys here and call in an airstrike?
I'm telling you what the objective is, trusting you to complete it. You have your orders. Fisher, if you compromise this mission for those men...
Save it, Irving. You gave me my orders already.
So you sneak the pilots past the soldiers, if you haven't already taken them out, then climb some scaffolding near the tank and call in the airstrike. A helicopter moves in afterwards and takes you out. Mission done. Now you're going after Shetland, your old friend who's obviously betrayed you and everybody else in the United States. Third Echelon is tracked into a bathhouse in Japan where he's meeting with a buyer to sell the Zerkasi computer algorithms. Sam has to find out who he's selling to, stop the deal, and take down his pal Shetland. The minigame here is tapping some phone lines. There are only 3 of them, so it doesn't consume too much of your time and you can focus on the job at hand. Naturally, Shetland has goons everywhere and you don't know where he's actually making the deal. So you have to get into the bathhouse owner's office and access his computer to find out. While you're there, you discover a couple of guys barricaded in a nearby room. They're not displaced, they're Japanese ISDF. What are they doing here? Lambert says he'll try to get hold of Admiral Otomo and find out. Meanwhile, Sam makes his way to the other end of the complex, of course, to listen in on Shetland's deal. But when he gets there, he discovers that Shetland's buyer is none other than, can you guess? The Japanese ISDF. No wonder Otomo isn't answering the phone. You access Shetland's computer remotely, and Grimm discovers that Shetland is using some stuff in the Zerkasi material to essentially spark a massive world war.
Jesus, Lambert. ISDF isn't here to take Shetland down. They're meeting with him. They're his partners.
My God. Stay there. We need to hear the details before we go to the Joint Chiefs with this.
Bring them? We're not going to follow you across Tokyo.
Relax, Kaneda. I'll just download them and burn you a disc.
Ha! You take me for a fool. You are not stupid enough to download them over a public network. What are you up to?
I said relax. You're right. I'm not that stupid. My men just finished setting up a shadow net. Completely secure wireless, discreet from the web. Now sit. You'll have your algorithms in about 4 minutes. Call it!
Lambert.
Let it go, Fisher. We know the truth. We'll pick up the pieces after the dust settles.
Save it, Kaneda. I've seen it before. You're defending your honor to cover up your lies. Should I check the account, or should we start shooting and see who walks out of here?
Kaneda! Tetsuo! No, no, no! Please! We can work this out!
We're switching the fallback.
The chopper's on its way.
Good. Secure this area. No one comes through.
Yes, sir.
Fisher?
Kill Shetland. I know.
So now the 2 sides are shooting each other. However, like in every other video game scenario where this happens, the 2 sides do agree on one thing. They all want to kill you. Past all those guys and after Shetland, you get to a boiler room that supplies the hot water for this place and find that Shetland has wired the whole place with bombs. There are 3 bombs and you have to disarm each one while fighting off Shetland's goons and listening to Shetland give Sam all kinds of speeches about how he's right and Sam is wrong. And you have exactly 1.5 minutes to disarm each one. You get to each bomb by climbing over, under, around and through catwalks, piping and places that a rat couldn't get to. But once you've done it and taken out the goons, you've caught up with Shetland.
Doesn't have to end like this, Sam.
No, but it does have to end.
On that we agree. We've been fighting their dirty little wars our entire lives, and where do we end up? Staring at each other down the barrels of our guns. Nothing has changed, Fisher. And it won't change by degrees. We have to tear it down and start over. It's the only way.
Your own little chaos theory, throw the world into war and hope that what comes out the other side is better.
It will be better. Because this war will change things, Sam. Every other war has been about keeping things the same, but the status quo doesn't work anymore. America's sick, Sam. She's dying. The politicians, the bureaucrats, the whispered backroom deals, it's all life support for a sick old lady who was dead a long time ago.
The only backroom deals that I've seen lately were made by you. You're a murderer and a war criminal.
Those are the only names the state has for the revolutionaries, Sam. You've only become a hero after the war is over. You know the truth. The world is built from the bottom up, not the other way around. Honor, courage, fidelity. We don't inherit these things from the world, Sam. We build the world from them. I know you. You believe in these things more than any government. And I know that because of it, you wouldn't shoot an old friend.
You're right, Doug. I wouldn't shoot an old friend.
You're a hard man, Sam. But no matter what you do, Shetland is a goner. If you choose not to shoot him, he comes at Sam with a knife and Sam has to kill him anyway. Game over. Oh no, it's not. We still have to catch up with Atomo and recover any Zerkesi material he already got from Shetland. So now, Sam is heading to Tokyo to infiltrate the Kokobo Sosho, which seems to be the headquarters of the ISDF. We have no idea how high or low the corruption goes, so Sam is on his own. The goal is to find Atomo, but getting in is going to be more than half the battle. To make matters worse, Atomo has just ordered his men to take all the American military personnel in the place into custody. So your first task is to get into the press room where these guys are being held and see what they know. They tell you that Atomo is having a big meeting in the war room downstairs. Lambert wants to hear and record that conversation, so you're off again. The next part is mostly basic Splinter Cell, combining stealth with creativity and looking for the less obvious paths. But there's one aspect to this level that makes it stand out.
Nothing. Better that way.
Get down!
That's right. These guys are using sticky shockers. Ever wonder what those things feel like? Well, Sam just found out. If you're not careful, you will get hit and captured. They'll take your gear and handcuff you to a chair. Next, you have to pick the handcuffs. Seems easy, right? Wrong! Picking locks has been part of the Sam Fisher experience since the beginning, and the only thing that's changed is the quality of the graphics. But this time, you don't have any visual cues. You have to go entirely by touch. To make matters worse, the first few times you get that prompt, you lose consciousness again almost at once. You have no guidelines for how to do the picking, it's just trial and error. Next, you have to find all your gear, which means finding your way through several places without the benefit of night vision or any of your other gadgets. Then you have to figure out where the heck you are and go from there. Even better, this shock and capture can happen anywhere in the level. You can be within 6 inches of your goal and still get caught. It's absolutely amazing. It's possible to get through the level without getting captured, but it's not very likely. Out of 5 playthroughs, I've accomplished it once. And that was by saving about every 5 seconds and going back to a save point every time I got nailed. If you play it like an actual game, expect to get caught. And if you don't get caught while doing a regular playthrough, let me know so I can be crazy jealous. So you make your way down a ramp and deal with several guards. One of them can get you through a retinal scanner that'll take you to the server room. The door to the war room area is locked, and you have to get into the server room to unlock it. This ain't gonna be easy. In fact, it's a royal pain in the butt. There are 2 infrared equipped cameras in here, and if one of them sees you, the whole server system sinks into the floor where you can't get at it. One time, a camera actually spotted me through the little glass window in the door, which is just plain absurd. Unless you're incredibly lucky, expect to have to get the servers up out of the floor. And the only way to do that is with a retinal scanner in the back of the room. There's a storage room next to the server room with a couple of guards in it, and they're both authorized for the retinal scanner. The problem, once again, is getting past those damn cameras to the scanner. You can zap one with your OCP, but of course it takes a long time to recharge, and unless you dance around like Fred Astaire to avoid the second one, you're screwed anyway. When you finally do get to the computer you need, of course it's on one of the machines in the middle of the room, you unlock the war room and then you can get the hell out of that area. The door takes you to the area where the war room is. It's behind tempest-hardened walls, whatever those are, but Sam suspects there's at least 1 air duct he can use to get in. He just has to get past 2 more guards and 2 more cameras. But these are a lot easier than the server room. Then again, so is a root canal. So you find the air duct and crawl in, and you hear this.
We cannot, but if he has control, political suicide. We have already taken the Americans.
Gotcha.
Sir, he is Admiral Otomo.
Admiral,
What is the meaning of this?
you will repeal the post-war constitution.
will order the immediate remilitarization of Japan and return control of our nation to the order of the Emperor. The United States will support this act politically and militarily to release themselves from further financial and military obligations, thereby concluding our relationship in Asia.
This is impossible. Even if we repeal the Constitution, the Emperor would never.
The Emperor will do what the military tells him. I am not an unreasonable man. These efforts will take time. I have faith in your honor and prudence. So I give you 96 hours.
96? The people will never allow it.
If in 4 days these demands are not met, I launch of a North Korean ballistic missile and sacrifice a Japanese city over my choosing. Regrettably, this will kill millions. But it will steal the will of the people if your appeals cannot. For the sake of your honor, and for the sake of Japan, I plead with you, do not force my hand in this matter.
That's it. He caught the signal. My God.
Good God, Fisher. That confirms it. Otomo's been manipulating the Japanese government the entire time.
At least they're not sanctioning his actions. What's the next step? How do we stop Otomo?
If we're lucky, we might not have to.
What do you mean?
Grim?
I'm worried about that general, Fisher. He's been awfully quiet working on his laptop. Access it from here. Let's see what he's planning.
Will do.
What are our options? Can we retake the command center?
Affirmative.
What if
Rona in position.
you
for the word.
have another choice?
Ronan, you are go. I repeat, you are go. Affirmative. Open it. Code's been changed. Hot, fast. Up. Ronan is lost. We're done. The Admiral again, sir.
Admiral, we...
Fool! You waste your time to scheme like a dog. If you are unable to act honorably, then I will force you to act. You will not be able to deny the demands of the people after North Korea destroys one of our cities. You will know which one when it is annihilated.
What are our options? 72 hours. How do we contact the Emperor?
Good Lord! Otomo is going to launch a North Korean missile at his own country.
What's the time frame?
Could be hours, could be minutes. Get down there and destroy his servers.
What about extraction?
If you can't take out those servers before Otomo forces a launch, there won't be any reason to extract.
And if I do take out the servers?
We'll make that part up as we go.
That's half a plan if I've ever heard one.
So you head back out and take an elevator down to where Otomo's servers are. Along the way, Lambert tells you he's lifting the no-kill restriction. You have fifth freedom with everybody except Otomo. We need him to face an international court and take responsibility for all this so the world knows the North Koreans didn't deliberately start a war. The elevator is a big glass job, and as it goes down, you can see that you're heading way below the ocean, down into seaweed and fish and all the rest. That'll be significant later. Otomo has figured out that the general is sending another assault team, so he cuts power to the elevator. So now you have to do this bit again. It's as believable now as it was in the first game. Not at all. But anyway, just as you get to the bottom, Lambert tells you the North Koreans have contacted NORAD. They've lost control of the launch facility and it's going to fire in 3 minutes. So that's how long you have to get past all these guys with guns and stop the launch. After the first bunch of soldiers, you find yourself in this place. You have to weave your way through these lasers because if you bump one of them, a machine gun at the end of the hall will make you into dog food. So you get in and destroy the server with an explosive charge. That brings a couple of guards running, but there's enough darkness that if you move fast enough, you can get behind them. Now, watch this. That's going to get somebody's attention, right? Wrong. Look at this. He didn't even hear this other guy less than 10 feet away screaming like that. So he gets the same treatment. After that bit of nonsense, you go a little further and find Otomo. He's in a big glass room, makes a nice speech, then stabs himself harakiri style. Lambert tells you that you have to save him, so you find a way in and save him. You still need to bring him alive to prove he was behind all the stuff that's being blamed on North Korea. And here's where the game totally lost me. How you get out.
Good work, Fisher. He's stable, but we still have to get him out of there. You're going to have to blast your way out.
We're over 100 feet underwater.
You're not pressurized, Fisher. It will be a shock, but you won't get the bends.
Next time, you're going on the mission and I'm making up the crazy plan.
Quite enough of that. Look, I'm a scuba diver. I have about 350 dives under my belt, and I'm certified as high as you can go without becoming a professional trainer. How is this all wrong? Let me count the ways. No, if I did that, you'd really get bored. First, Sam and everybody else there is under pressure. Especially with glass walls, it's inevitable.
It's what?
Inevitable.
One more time?
Inevitable!
100 feet down, you're under 4 times the atmospheric pressure you are at the surface. So both Sam and Otomo are likely to get a huge case of the bends, or decompression sickness if we call it by its actual name. Second, even if he's not at risk for decompression, the force of that water rushing in under those same 4 atmospheres of pressure and all coming at once is going to squash both of them into little balls of goo. Third, being under pressure, they're going to have to exhale steadily all the way up to the surface, or the air in their lungs will expand to 4 times its volume and their lungs will explode. Sam might have the presence of mind to do this, but Otomo is unconscious! If his lungs don't explode, his autonomic nervous system is going to keep him trying to breathe, so he's going to drown. Give me a break. I would love for somebody to explain to me why Sam couldn't find a way back up through the complex, because this ending is so far beyond stupid, I don't think English has a word for it. After this mission ends, the game gives you your end score. It lists your scores for each level and gives you an average, which is your final rating. Whoop-ee-dip. Roll the credits, we made it to the end. Once you do that, find a friend and play the bonus levels as the Splinter Cell's in training. It's worth it, and there are no bogus endings to spoil it. This was the last Splinter Cell game exclusively for the original Xbox. From here, the main storyline moved on to the Xbox 360 with Splinter Cell Double Agent. Since reviewing series games is my thing, we'll look at Double Agent next time. But for now, let me just say that this was by far the best of the Splinter Cell games. As the series moved along, the graphics improved, the gameplay became more and more standardized, and the stories are the complex, big plot thrillers you expect from Tom Clancy. The first game set the standard. Pandora Tomorrow was a bit of a hiccup, but still had a good story and good action. Chaos Theory picked up the excellence of the first game and moved it to the next level. The settings, the characters, the enemies, the graphics, the controls pushed the limits of Xbox technology as far as it could go. The series still endures because of the standards set by these first 3 games, and especially this one. Despite the dopey ending, I'll keep playing this one until the disc wears out. And when that happens, I'll probably buy another one. I'm Irving, and I have no life, just like you.
Well, finally, Irving got...
We're going to war to protect him, but it almost looked like they're the...
He was sitting there twirling his gun around and...
Raiding is inserting you into a CIA safe house, but in crap.
Big fat Irving. Big dum-dum Irving.
A helicopter moves in and I screwed up on helicopter again.
42nd fastest gun in the West.